Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Tametsi. We're going to do another puzzle today. Which one is it? Number 99, Saplings. Sure. This is a kind of tree looking thing. Very nice and symmetrical. No zeros anywhere, so we should look for combinations of clues that are interesting. In hex grids, those are generally along a straight line. Here's a 1 surrounded by 2s, which is probably good. We have at most one of these, so at least one of these, so at most one of these, so at least one of these, and therefore not here. And now we turn all these at least and at most into exactlies, and lo and behold, there's one here as well, so none there. This 4 has 2 of its neighbors touching this 1, so the other 3 all have to be mines. Yes, of course. These two 1s are next to each other. One of these two, therefore not here. Which does something, I hope? Nothing I immediately see. Can we... There's nothing going on over here, I don't think. 2, 3, 2? I don't think that's anything, right? Like, you can say at least one of these, and also at least one of these, but all that gives you is at most one of this, right? Which is obviously not helpful. This 2. Here we go. A 2 next to a 1 is good, though. We have at most one of these, therefore this is a mine, and none of these are. Oops. There we go. That's something a little bit more robust to work with as a starting point. There's one of these, therefore one of these, but I don't see anything meaningful coming from that. But we now... This 1 and this 1 are now more constrained than they were because the space behind this one is all covered. So we should find one here, one here, one here. Therefore, this 2 has its second mine here. Oh, look how many numbers changed when I clicked that. Counting the edge clues as well? Anyway. And does that help with this one going somewhere? Yes, it does. We have 1 here, and therefore none here. And since we found a 0 up here, we can say which of these 2 it was. It's this one. This 3 has 3 neighbors, and we get a couple zeros. One of these, also one of these, which means only one of these, but that doesn't seem to do anything just yet. What about this 2? Not really. I don't have any guaranteed mines or non-mines in the area. Could be both of these or neither of them. Seven? No, we have 10 space. Uh-oh. Did I just right-click somewhere for no reason at all? Yeah, it was here. Really would love an undo button in this game. Of course, if you've revealed some information, you can't exactly undo it, but like, I'd rather have it undone than have to black it out and make sure not to use it, you know? Like, if you can still count me as, like, I don't know. If I reveal some information and then undo it, does that mean I should be marked as not completing the puzzle successfully? Probably. Maybe. Oh, this 2 has 2 neighbors now. Now we have a 0. This 2 and this 1, yes, are across from each other, and there must be at least one here, so there are none here. And this is the other mine for this 2. This 1's finally done, and we get a couple zeros to work with. 2 with 2 neighbors. Should be more down here, right? Yeah, that 3 had only 3 neighbors. This 1 across from this 2, we have 1 here, so the second one is there. More over here? Question mark? Come on, I've been good. I don't really see anything. Maybe this 1. Not really. Well, it limits the number of C's in this diagonal, I guess. That's not immediately useful. But someday it will be, I assume. Two? Well, we have at least one of these 2 to satisfy this 2. But I can't see a second guaranteed mine, I don't think. This 5's nowhere close. Likewise, these. There are 30 gray mines, so we're not going to be able to use that for a while. Are these 2s playing with each other in any interesting ways? Let's pencil out what we know. There's 1 here and there's 1 here. We know there's at least 1 here, both for this 2 and for this 1. But that seems to be about the limit of it. I mean, okay, yeah, we know this, but really doesn't matter. I guess if we could show that at least one of these C's had to be a mine, we could use this 1 to put no mine here, and that would be pretty useful. Of course, I don't immediately see how to do that, but, you know, worth thinking about. I mean, okay, there are at most 3 mines along this diagonal that are gray, and so at least 2 of them are A's. But that doesn't seem very good. We could try combining these since they kind of straddle a diagonal. But well, I don't actually have many clues that straddle that diagonal, just this 1 and this 2, and so I don't think it's going to give me enough information. However, what about these 2? I have kind of like, I don't have very many C's, and we're putting kind of a lot of mines there, right? There's 5 total mines in this area, and at most, 2 of them are up here, right? 1 here and the other 1 here. So the other 3 all have to be C's, which means these non-covered mines are all safe. And furthermore, this is the last mine in the area. Let me just double check that. There's 3 of these. 1 of these is 4, so the 5th is here. Yes. Just kind of following up on some super basic 0 and 1 clues that, you know, that are forced because of how many neighbors the thing has. That seems to have made a lot of progress, which is nice. This 2... Yeah! This 2, combined with this 1, resolves this area. There's 1 of these and 2 of these. That's all 3. So these 2 C's are safe. These 2 1s work together here, but not here. I'm not sure that I can go further over there right now. But I recently discovered some stuff over in this area, didn't I? Maybe these bees or row clues will help now? Like, this row clue is kind of interesting, isn't it? There's 1 here, which means 2 in this area. This area, 2 in this area is not that useful, but it does mean at least 1 of these 2, which means at most 2 of these. That's not very useful, is it? Okay, fair enough. This one doesn't have any, like, useful neighbors, right? There's no one else who shares, like, just this, or both of these. Yeah, okay. Okay, so is there more to do over here then? Oh, or maybe some of the work we did over here resolved these guys, because these numbers are lower than they were, right? There's a total of 5 in that area. One of them, let me get the pencil. One of them is here. And there are 4 more, but it could be all 4 down here. Or it could be just 1 down here, I think, and then the rest in the A's. Yeah. So that's not that useful, I don't think, at the moment. The B's? I mean, we have at most 2 out here. I guess that's not how I draw at most 2. Well, okay. I guess we do it like this. Ah! Come on, pencil. Get with the program. At most 2 here, which means at least 3 here out of our 6 B's, right? And there's exactly 1 here, which means there are at most 2 B's in this entire area. Wait. Yeah. The problem is, at most 2 isn't quite something I can do anything with. Because there might, in fact, be only 1 if it were right here. Ah, okay. I see something. This 1 column, I don't need it to work with the 2 anymore. This 3 is solving it. We have at least 1 of this 3's mines must be here, and that's everything for this column. So this is not a mine, and for this 1, this is. And now we know there's exactly 1 of these, so this 3's other neighbors must both be mines, and we can get going like so. For at least a little while. Oh, and has that 1 here helped with this 5 row? I don't think it has, right? We still can have at most 2 here, but now we have another way of resolving it. This 1 also proves it, right? But it doesn't actually give me anything new that I can see. Hmm. 2 across 3 doesn't really do anything yet, right? We have at least 1 of these, which is at most 2 of these, but doesn't do anything. Ah, this 1 and 2. How long has that been there? There's a mine here, so the second mine is there. Now this 1 and this 1 work together here, giving me these 2. Has that done something yet? Oh, well, this one. Yes, there it is. And this one, yeah, I see. We can start working out along the stem now. At least a bit. There are 3 A's, and one of them is here. So 2 of these 3 are A's, which is sort of interesting. But I don't know if that really says much. Maybe I should look at these diagonals again. Because we've identified at least one mine is up here, which is not that much, but maybe it's something. We know there's exactly one here and at least one here. So at least 1, 2, at least 3. There's still space for one more mine somewhere. Okay. Still nowhere close to using total mine count, I don't think. So 2 next to this 1 doesn't do much. Ah, this 3 is finally useful. We have one of them is here, so the other 2 must be the entire row. 2 by 1, there's a mine here and not here. And does this help the 5 any? Still no. There's either 1 or 2 here, which is about what we had before. So that means there's either 3 or 4 here, which with the 1 here means there's either 1 or 2 here, which is what we had before with these 1s. Yeah. Troublesome 1s. This is a little upsetting. I feel like I should be able to do something. Like, I don't think I can do anything with just the grid right now. I think I have to use an edge clue or a color clue. I obviously can't use the C's. And I think I've shown that I can't quite use the B's, right? And the A's seem pretty clearly not yet useful. I mean, I'm done with this. I can just completely ignore that row now. This row, 3 or 4 here, 1 here, 1 or 2 here. If I could say 1, I would put it there. If I could say 2... Oh, wait a minute. Right, no. If I could say 2, I was about to say that it must be these 2, but that's not true. It could be like here and here, for example. Okay, well, let's look a little bit more closely at the grid. Maybe I missed something. There's one of these, which per the A's means 2 of these. We've looked at that in brief, and it didn't seem very useful for this diagonal. We have one of, well, okay, I guess let's get out the pencil, right? We have one of these, one of these, one of these, and one of these. Doesn't that make this whole area like a wire? And we also have one of these and one of these. So that's kind of interesting, I think. I don't know exactly that it helps, but I believe that when you have like strings of exactly connected one of each clues, they end up alternating parity, right? Like if we made this a mine, then this couldn't be, so this would have to be, so this couldn't be, so this would have to be, and so on. Which I don't really see how that's useful right now. Like, right? I can relate the number of mines in this area to whether or not this C is a mine, for example, but I don't see a great reason to do that. Right? Like if this C is a mine, then no, yes, no. Yeah, so if this C is a mine, there's one mine here, it's this one. Otherwise, there's two mines here, and this isn't a mine, right? It just doesn't seem very helpful. One of these. And one of these. So I wonder if that makes these twos relate to each other in an interesting way, right? Because now these two spaces are either both mines or neither mines, right? Is that cool? Okay, we also have the same relation going out here, I guess, for what that's worth, but not much is what I think. But I wonder if showing, like, if none of these were mines, would anything interesting happen? Like if we said nope, nope, yep, like that. Well, then to finish these twos, we'd need something like this. But that, like, seems fine. And I think we'll likewise see that it works fine if I say this has to be a mine, because this has to not be, this is, whatever. This isn't, this is. And then I just have one of these, and this. Yeah, so I mean I can relate those two spaces and therefore those twos to each other, but it doesn't form a strong enough constraint to conclude anything useful that I can see. Or more specifically, not a strong enough constraint to let me click a square or place a mine. I don't even see how it creates constraints that ripple into other areas. This 2 next to this 3, I mean, we know at least one of these. We've sort of talked about that before. It just means at most 2 here, which, so what? Yeah, I mean, I think it's got to be a color clue that I'm just not. So we know it can't be these rows. These are boring rows. They're already reflected exactly on the grid. These, in principle, it could be, but only through a color clue, I think, right? Like, we've marked this before, but there's one here, and at least one here. but that just means like, okay, and also, by the way, 1 here, and therefore 2 here, which means in particular at least one of these 2 spaces. So we've got at least 1 in these 2 columns up here, but there could be as many as 3. Right? If the 3 A's were here, here, and here, or here, then, well, there can't, actually, that's a good point. There can't be 3 A's along these 2 rows. At least one of them has to be here. Because if we tried to do it the other way, we would run out of mines to place along these 2 rows down here. But one of them in those 2 spaces, or at least one in those 2 spaces, doesn't, as far as I can tell, help me yet. Man. No Steam pop-ups, please. I don't know. Like, I messed something up when creating the capture for this. I normally have stuff not capturing overlays. I don't know if I made this like a window capture instead of a game capture, which is what I usually do. I don't know. There you go. Now you know who's on my Steam friends list. Also, I wish I could just turn those off in general. I really don't care to know what any of my like 5 Steam friends are doing. 5 is an overstatement, by the way. I don't think I even have 5 Steam friends. So if there's at least 1 here, there's at most 2 in this space, I guess, right? Like we can say at most 2. Congratulations. Which means there's at least 2 down here, but that's actually how we derived there's at least 1 up there, so it's really not telling me anything. Yeah, that sucks. So it's got to be this row or the B's, I think. I don't think there's anything left that it could be. But I'm not sure how I can prove anything about that. Wait. No. Yeah. I know there's exactly 1 of these, but that doesn't tell me whether this is a mine or not. I know there can be at most 2 out here, but I already knew that. It means there's at least 3 in here. And there's at least 1 here, and there's 1 here. But as you can see, that's only 5 of the 6 B mines. And so it could be 1 of these 2, or it could not be 1 of these 2. And I would be none the wiser, I think. Does this 1 restricting this 3 matter at all? I don't think it does. Wait a minute. I finally noticed. It's about this 1, because that limits this 2. It can only have 1 mine in these 2 spaces, so the other mine is there. Okay. So now we have 1 here, which means we have 2 here. But what does that mean? Can I do any... Okay, I mean... I'm not sure I can do anything with that little... Eureka. Right? revelation, I guess, is... Oh, of course I can. Because there's only one in this column, and I've found it. It's here. So, or diagonal, whatever. So these two are safe. Yes, and now we can get somewhere, because there's at least one in this area for this 2, which means at most one here. So this 2 needs its second mine there. And of course we can ripple backwards, right? There's one here, exactly, thanks to this one. Exactly one here, so the second mine is there. Does that help with all this stuff? It should, right? Oh, of course, we get this A as well. You're not a mine, because the mine in this diagonal is here. Silly. Oh, also we have that this is the mine, because this one. I don't know when we got that, but we did. Must have been recently, of course. This 3's finished, and we can get in here. There are 3 A's, and only one of them is here, so these 2 are both A's. Are both mines, I should say. And this 0 lets us resolve that space. Okay. This 2 is across from a 1, so there is a mine here, but not here. And this can't be a mine because of the column. I guess I'll have to resolve this 5 to understand these C's, you know, coming in through parity this way. And I'll need total mine count for this area, I think. Okay, oh, we found a mine up here that was outside of this area. That's really important, isn't it? Because there's still at most 2 here. And therefore at least 2 of these, and exactly 1 here. That's 3 of our 4 mines. And the last one has to... Oh, it doesn't have to touch both of these, but it does have to touch this one. So there's no mine here or here. And we can change this, of course, to exactly 2. Like so. Ah! Whatever, it's getting erased soon, but I want to not be a bad drawer. There's exactly 2 in that area, which means there's now exactly 2 here, which means it has to be like this to avoid blowing up either of the 1s. Okay. Doesn't this mean I need a mine here? Because... No, I don't. Well, don't I though? Because, like... Say we put the mines here and here. I don't think that's possible, because then there's nowhere to put the mine in this row. Right? We have to put one here to touch this one, but it can't touch either of these ones, and that's impossible. That's why I said I thought there should be a mine here, and in fact, that's correct. Although I'm not sure... right, these 2 ones. They share here, but not here. That's like, this is something you can conclude, but it doesn't help you resolve anything else. This was how I was supposed to actually finish resolving stuff. Well, there's 1 here and 1 here, so the third one must be there. Now there are 3 total mines. That's apparently enough to resolve all of this. Well, one thing I can tell you for sure is we're not going to find out that these are mines. And if we found out only one of them was a mine, we'd be lost. So none of them must be mines. Yeah, I guess 3 total mines is enough to resolve it, because not if we look at this mine, but if we look at this one, there's 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. Therefore, the rest of this area is all safe. Oh, and also it has to be touching this one. Right? Yeah. And we know 2 of the mines are here, so one of them's there. Okay. Cool. No mistakes. What a nice change of pace, huh? That was puzzle 99, Saplings. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.